Greetings, 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 everyone. Welcome to the Social Power Summit speaker interview series. I'm so glad to have you. We are on the last one of the week. That's right, the last one of the week. We are 10 down and 10 more to go. Can you believe it? 10 down and 10 more to go. And yes, but they've all been very informational, and the rest of them will be as well. So today we are going to be talking about PR and visibility with none other than Maleeka Hollaway. So we're just wait. Oh, there she is. I see her. Okay. I don't see her picture yet. Okay. Let's see here. Okay. Okay, Maleeka, I don't see your camera. Hello, everyone. Hello, hello. Yes, you're here. I see you. I just have to. I'm trying to add you, but it's not letting me add you. Okay, just request to come in here then. Yes. Okay. Okay. Are you on your phone? You have to, are you on your phone? Okay. So we are super excited to have Maleeka on tonight. There she is. Yes. Okay, just turn your phone sideways. There you go. There she is.
I'm here. I
How
was
you
trying to use
doing?
my laptop, I didn't
Oh,
want to do the
yes,
phone
yes.
thing, but it is what it is.
Yes. I know, right? But you are here now. That is the most important thing.
I am. I'm gonna keep inviting people too while we go, so I
Yes,
can
please
multitask
do.
a
I'm
little
doing the
bit.
same thing, right? We got to get the people in the building. Yes. We got to let them know what you're talking about at the Social Power Summit. That's what we're talking about, right?
That's right.
So, all right. We have so thank you so much for being a part of the Social Power Summit, being a part of this interview series. I am so happy that you're here. I've been watching you for many years. We've been watching each other, and I've seen you just excel, excel, excel. And so tell us a little bit about Maleeka.
I think we met back in 2015 on Periscope, right? So
Right?
that's the power of social media. And you met me really when I was really just getting started doing anything on social media. I had just released my first co-authored book. Still honestly figuring things out, and I just gained this massive following and literally had a business before I knew what I had.
Exactly.
And literally
Exactly.
stuff just took off from there. And it took me a minute to find, exactly where I wanted to fit in everything. And of course, everybody knows I'm a natural writer. I'm a natural
Yes.
communicator. And so for my business to go where it is now, to where my focus is the majority on branding, and PR, it's just been a journey. It's been a fun journey. And you're one of those people who got to watch it. So, like the power of, activation as far as getting yourself out there, getting in front of people. I want to say it takes a lot of work, but it really doesn't. You just got to be consistent. You can do small things. As long as you're consistent, you'll get out there and things will grow. So um, that's my history briefly in a little nutshell.
Yes, and then the funny thing about it was we met on Periscope and ended up realizing we were in the same city.
Right. And didn't even know it.
Right. We were like, what? We waited all this time to meet each other and we're living in the same city. That was craziness.
That's how it goes.
Yes. So now, Malik, you were talking about your journey to PR and to branding. So tell us some of the things that a person would need, because like I have you on the content panel. So basically we talk about branding, we talk about the automation, the different things, the pieces to go together. We have the video and the photography, and then you, the PR person, would then put all these things together and do what?
Say that last thing again. What was that? The last part of your statement.
You would take all of those things and do what as a PR person? You would take the video, you would take the branding, you would take the automation, the website content, and you would do what for a person as a PR person?
Okay, so the main goal of PR is really to help get you known, and to help boost your reputation with the public. And so one of the first things I always ask people when they come to me and say, most people are like, I need PR, I need public relations. And the first thing I ask them is why? What do you have that people need to know about and that's interesting? They'll go, well, I just wrote this book and it's about XYZ. And I go, okay, well, why is that interesting? Why do people need to know about it? Everyone can write a book. Everyone can have a beautiful website. Everyone can look good on social media. But at the end of the day, PR is all about being able to take one story and spin it many different ways, depending on the audience. So with your website, with your branding photos, with your marketing and automation, I take that and help position you in the eye of the public. So of course, it goes back to business basics, knowing who it is you're wanting to communicate with. So you'll hear people say your ideal client, your target audience, your target market. We look at all of those things. So it doesn't go away once you get everything set up, like your website and social media pages and all of that. It's a continuance, and we're constantly refining what you're doing and where you are based on where you want to go. And so I like to say, because I do both branding and PR, they actually work together. And you really can't have one without the other, because as a PR specialist, if your marketing material and your branding is off, is not cohesive and it's not communicating, it makes my job really, really hard. Especially when over here you want to be known as an author, and over here you want to be a digital marketing specialist, and then back here you want to be a cake baker. I have to know what it is you want to do. And so we can run with it, because a confused mind does nothing. So if people don't know how to find you, and if they don't know you for that one thing, it makes it really hard for me or anybody that's in my field to be able to help you.
Well, you made a very good point. Having that one thing.
Really hard.
Yeah. You were saying that you need to have that one thing. Now, what happens if you have like two distinct things, like you've always been known for these things, and you have decided that one day, let's say, I'll use my example. I was an educator, and then all of a sudden, people realize that I've been doing social media actually longer than I've been doing educating. And so, how do you decide which one is the better one to focus on?
Depends on which one people want to pay you for. And I'll throw my marketing hat for a minute, because even though you at one point in time, were an educator, people knew you as that. People want you for social media, and even in that, you're still an educator. Now you're just a social media educator. And so I always say, what are people asking you for? What do they most know you as? And even if you want to shift and you want to pivot, again, what are people going to pay you for? For a long time, because my business was built on writing and editing and proofreading, that's what people knew me for. They knew I did everything else. They knew I did marketing and branding, but everyone knew me for the writing and for the editing. And I was like, no, but I really want you all to know me for this. And so I had to take a step back and reevaluate, how I was positioning myself. So I realized, I really wasn't talking about doing PR a lot, even though I was doing it. And so I really had to just switch my business model and my branding, and really hone in and say, okay, I'm a brand communication specialist, AKA a PR specialist. And we just take all the different elements of that, and we pretty much wrapped it up into one. So for someone who is juggling a lot of different hats, you need to figure out how those things connect with each other, because like just your example, you're an educator and you also do social media, but you educate people about social media as well. So you're still an educator. You know, you can't take that away from you. You're just educating in a different way, depending on what your audience is.
Okay, so those are relative. So let's say you made the example of a cake baker, and then let's say a singer, a cake baker and a singer. They're not necessarily relative, but people are buying your cakes and they're listening to you sing. So what would you say for someone like that?
You can sing while you bake a cake. Number one, I would want to know again, what are people asking you for? Are they asking you to sing, or are they asking you to bake a cake? And when you're baking the cake, especially let's just say you go live baking the cake, are you making it an experience? Are you going live and you're interacting, you're taking questions? You know, you've been really animated. You have this whole personality going where at any given moment you'll bust out in the song, and you'll switch genres and music that makes it amusing and really engaging to watch. A lot of times it's about connecting the two. So like cooking is like a soul thing. You know, people get comfort from cooking and baking, and singing. Music is universal. It's also a soul thing. People get comfort and they get entertainment from music. So even though they're two completely different things, there are ways to blend them together. And so if someone were to come to me, they're going to pay me to figure out how to make that singing cake baker work for them.
So part of being in PR is, basically taking the pieces of the vision and making them plain, basically, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. And what are 3 things that a person needs to have when they are looking for a PR person? What 3 things do they need to know before they get started, so that they have a good foundation?
Number one, they absolutely have to know who they are, and who they want to be known as. And that goes back to everything I've been saying for the last few minutes, because it's important, because based on who you want to be known as, that will help us decide what markets we're going after, what platforms we're talking about. If you're out here talking about Bitcoin and currency and stuff that's on a higher like financial level, I can't pitch you to Cosmo. What does that has nothing to do with what people that reach Cosmo are looking for. They're more of the young, fresh hip hop generation talking about sex, having fun, traveling the world. Even though there is substance there, that's 2 different lanes. And so you have to know who you are and what you want to be known as. Number 2, everything has to be consistent. And not just, and when I say that, I'm just not just talking about a website, your social media handles, and I'm talking about you as a person. So if I go Google you and your website saying you're this empowering motivational speaker who likes to empower people to live their best lives, right? But then when I follow you on your Facebook, all of your posts are negative, and you're going on rants and you're talking about how much you hate this, and that, but nothing's powerful or empowering, then I'm at a loss, really, because I'm trying to figure out why is your website not lining up with your personality. And then when people meet you in person as well, if you're online and you're this bubbly, happy person, but when I see you on the streets, you don't even speak, is a problem. Me as a PR person, I take that into account, because I don't want to put my reputation on the line, putting you out there if you're not really who you say you are. And then the third thing I would say is you need a newsworthy story. Like, you got to have something going on, not necessarily what you're planning to do, but what you're actually doing and why people need to know about it. A lot of people come and say, hey, I'm putting out a book next year, so I need PR. Okay, what's the book about? Well, I'm not really done, but I got this dope title. That's not going to work. Because besides your book, what else do you have going on? Because you don't really want, article feature that one time. You want it to be continuous. It's easier when you have a series of things going on that, we can create a story or create buzz about. If it's just this one hitter quitter, you're going to be like, it's like a one night, what do you call it? The one hit wonders. Yeah, you don't want to do that. So you got to have a lot going on for it, or at least something big that'll lead to a stream of other things.
Okay, so That's a great segue, right? So, what is something big that is like really would pique your interest? Give me three different things that would be like, oh, I want to work with you right now.
You with this social media summit. Like one thing I've been seeing a lot of on or a lot about is like on LinkedIn. You know, I'm like I have a newfound love for LinkedIn. It's been really good to me. But one thing I've been seeing a lot on LinkedIn is like about diversity and inclusion, how when they put out these lists for people that are in PR, marketing, digital marketing, social media, and it's the top 50 people you should know, it's not a lot of us on there. There's not a lot
Come
of
on.
people of color. And so your event will pique my interest because you go against the narrative that's already out there, saying that we are not out here doing things that they are. And so I think that's huge because one of the reasons why you started this summit was so that we had a platform to say, hey, we're out here too. We're out here making noise. We're out here in digital marketing. We're out here hosting events that are attracting large audiences from around the world. And so that's something that would capture my attention. And then after that, I would definitely want to know, all right, well, Dr. Finch, you got your event going on. What happens next? What are you going to do after your event? Which, of course, you've been doing your speaking engagements, but will you do a book, or will you start doing master classes on how to master social media, how to put an event together? So your event, number one, would definitely pique my interest. Someone who has like a really catchy type like book about to come out. I can't think of one off the top of my head, but if it's real, if it has to be on a topic that's relevant to what's going on right now, if that makes sense. So I know diversity and inclusion is huge. So like I said, that speaks to your event. Also, people have been giving us millennials a really hard time. I'm seeing a lot of things about how we don't like to work hard. And, you know, we're used to getting everything easy, and we want this to be a microwave society. So if someone was writing a book about, hey, that's not true, you're lying on us, I would actually want to take that on as a project because of the fact it's something I'm passionate about as being a millennial who kind of gets some of those stereotypes. And I can't think of a third thing right now, but think about what's going on in the media or in the news or on social media right now. What are people talking about? They're talking about diversity and inclusion. They're talking about millennials, amongst other things. So there's stuff that's lighter. Of course, we have like the Black Lives Matter, and we have the race things going on. But at the same time, I just pick and choose based on, you know, what piques my interest and what I'm also passionate about. So I go after things that I like. Some people don't. It's like whoever has to check is who I'm going to work with. And I'm like, no, if I'm not connecting with it, then, you know, that's not something that I choose to do, you know?
That makes perfect sense. Now, we had a question in the chat. How do you find a PR person?
How do you find a PR person? So you find a public relations specialist. Number one, you can go to Google. Google will be your best friend. Along with social media, use your hashtags, public relations, PR. Some of us are now not even using the title of PR specialist. We're using, you know, branding and marketing or brand communications. You kind of have to know what's going on in the industry a little bit just to look for us. Because my title of my company is not a PR agency, it's a brand communications agency because we mix the two. And so I would say when you're looking for a PR specialist, number one, see what their target is, like what's their niche, who do they actually serve? For a long time, I just worked with authors, speakers, and coaches because that's who I am. Like that's what I did. And so I was like, oh, I'm just going to deal with my people. Since then, it's expanded tremendously to music artists and professional service providers, but you have to find a PR agency or a PR freelancer, whoever, that aligns with who you are. So Google is definitely your best friend. Also, look at their reviews. Look at what people are saying about them. Don't just take their word because people can put anything out there. Ask them, you talk to somebody that they worked with before? People love to ask for samples. Can I see some of your work? All my work is some of the samples of my work is on the website. So go there and look. You have to do your own research too. and just don't rely on somebody saying, hey, I can do XYZ for you and I can make it happen in this amount of time, because our industry, like most industries, is very unpredictable. And so you have
Right.
to know what a PR person can do for you. We're all about building reputation and credibility, right? But a lot of people think they need a PR person because, like, I need to make money and I need somebody to get me bookings and I need someone to help me sell these books. That's not what we do. Now, what we do leads to that. It leads to you getting bookings. It can lead to you making more sales. It can add to your bottom line. But our main goal is to get you seen. Marketing, a marketing person or a manager or a booking agent, their job is to get you paid. So that's one of the main differences. You have to know what a PR person does. We're about reputation and credibility, which can help your bottom line. But our main focus is to get you out there, not to necessarily add to your bottom line immediately. So that's a big misconception. People say, I need a PR person. I talk to them like, no, you need a manager or you need a booking agent. You don't need a me. I can work with you when you get that person because I'll be working with them, but you have to know what you need and when you need it.
See, that's perfect right there because, and I get a lot of that with social media as well. Oh, I'm gonna put myself on social media and I'm gonna be seen all over the world. I'm like, no,
Right. No.
it doesn't quite work that way. Yeah, just like right, it doesn't quite work that way. But when so they think these different things about PR as well. It's a good thing for you to have a good understanding of the PR. That's the most important thing. And your breakdown was very important. So, I mean, that's why the whole branding piece comes together. You are the communication.
Right.
Social media is like the visual, and then we have our booking agents and whatever that can push all of that into, get the money. Okay, so we have another question. What is the going rate for your profession?
The rates vary. However, I would say for the majority of us, especially for freelancers or small business owners like myself, the going rate, the retainers start at $1,500 a month, and contracts can go from anywhere from 6 months to a year. So that means it's not cheap. It's a lot of work. And so you're looking at, $1,500 for 6 months. That's almost 10 grand right there. But like I said, we have an industry that never sleeps and there's always something going on. And so, yeah, that's the going rate. And the numbers really go up from there depending on what type of agency you're working with. Depending on if you're a personal brand or if you're a business, depending on what the revenue is. I've seen retainers go from 1,500 all the way to 10,000 a month, 15,000. It really just depends on what you need, and how much credibility you're trying to get and what your time frame is. And on my end, you're frozen. So can you still see and hear me?
Yes. I'm here.
Okay.
I'm here. Everything. Okay.
Okay. Perfect.
So, yeah. So now, with that being said, we're looking for PR people. We have the going rate now. What is the most important thing that you need to have with your PR?
A relationship and communication. One thing I have to tell people is that you're not saying, boom, I'm paying you now, I'm just going to do my thing and you do what you do. Like, it does not work like that. We have constant communication, because there are things that I may need from you that I may not already have. And so I may need to ask you a question. How do you like this? How do you like that? What do you think about this? You may see something out there that you want to send my way, and it may come at 8 o'clock at night, even though I say office hours end at 5. It really just depends. So it's one of those things where we're in constant communication, and not micromanaging, because we don't do that. But it's not just you pay me and then you just disappear. One thing I found that a lot of people do, they'll pay and basically come back a month later and say, hey, what happened? What did you do this month? And I go, oh, well, I sent you this on this day. And I'm like, oh, I didn't read, that type of thing. I'm really big on communications and expectation. Like, before you pay somebody, you need to know what you're paying for. What are your expected results? Like, what can you look for from paying somebody $1,500 a month? A lot of times, again, it's not tangible. So you're not paying me to sell 100 books or anything that way, but you're paying me to get you out there in front of people. You're paying me to help you discover, if you're not 100% sure, what your market is, who you should be reaching out to, what are the events you should be seeing at, what complementary like products or services maybe you need to look at offering, so that it'll give you more reach in the public, so we can really get you out there. So you're not just paying for me to just boost your credibility here. You're paying me to kind of like be a business partner with you, to help your business get to where it needs to be, so that you make my job easier, I help make your job easier, and we're all happy. So expectations, communication, and a relationship are those things where it's like it's a must-have. Because if you don't like the person you're paying, the relationship won't last long. And so even if somebody can get results, but you don't really vibe with their personality, I would say, you know what, just find the next one. Because in this industry, if you want someone to represent you as your publicist, you're going to have a good working relationship with them.
This was great. This was great. I mean, we're getting great comments. They're excited about everything you're saying to us. Thank you so much, Maleeka. I am so excited to have you here. So, the final question is, why did you decide to be a part of the Social Power Summit?
Because it's you. Because it's Dr. Finch. So, again, we've been watching each other, so I knew what you had going on, and when you were thinking about putting the event together, when you finally decided to do it, but more than that, I just believe in the reason for why you did it, because I believe that we have just as much, if not more, going on,
yes,
as people of color than we get a lot of credit for. And a lot of times our stuff is taken, and put a little twist on it and put back out there like, oh, we did it first. And so when I saw that you were having an event, I already knew I was going to be there. So I was honored that you asked me to be a panelist. So thank you for that. But it's just that I believe in what you're doing, because I believe it's necessary. It's time. It's 2018. We're all on social media. We're all watching the news. We all know what needs to happen, but it just takes somebody to take that step and say, you know what, we keep saying we need it, now I'm going to do it. So I believe that's what you're doing here with the Social Power Summit. You're not just talking about this is what we need. You're actually giving us what we need. And so I'm I'm in 100%.
Well, thank you so much. You asked me, you were like, you're honored that I asked you for a panelist. And I like your approach. I like your style. I like at the Social Power Summit, I chose people who are not about a whole bunch of fluff, but are about real deal. Right. And you are definitely that. and you don't care if it hurts, because they need to know the truth before they need to have good feelings. And I'm the same way. And absolutely. I mean, I know this about this. And at the end of the day, they respect you more when you tell them the truth. Right. And that's what we are putting out there on the table. We are putting out people who are going to tell you the truth, that's going to work hard for you, and it's going to make sure that you have results. And they just so happen to be people of color to boot. Okay? So, with that being said, right? Yes. So we are basically doing the thing that they said we can't do, that we shouldn't be doing. And so it was that they don't want us to do on top of that. So they don't want us to do it. Right. And I love it. They said that Maleeka is the real deal and cute. I'm cute. Thank you. I love it. And oh, that's hilarious. At the end of the day, we have to stand in our truth, and we have to stop trying to let people take our platform when we know we're rocking it, and trying to diminish us. And that's why the Social Power Summit is here, to help women of color that's in STEM, women, people of color that's in social media, women in tech, who are not getting their just due. but have lots to say. And we are getting ready to put them out there on the forefront. So in September 14th and 15th, y'all need to be there so y'all can see Maleeka do her thing. Yes, she needs. Y'all need to be there, and she's gonna be on a fire panel. You have met her whole panel at this point. She's the last one of her panel,
yep.
And so you already know that her panel is fire. Okay, so you need to be here. September in Nashville, Tennessee, Social Power Summit. Be there. We have Amber Aziza as our keynote. So many of y'all know who Amber is. And she's having a mixer on the 13th. We're having the birthday party on the 14th. We're rounding it out on the 15th. So it's not just work, but we get to play too. And we get to network. And the question is, am I doing a live stream? No. No. Why? Because too many of us are hiding behind the camera. Too many of us are hiding behind the social media. It's time to get your face out there and do some real networking. But
right, saying and don't walk to me trying to put your business card in my hand, because I don't want it. I'm gonna ask you who you are and what you like to do. And I'm expecting for you to connect with me on social media. So I don't want your business card, for the record. I'm gonna stalk you on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. I'm gonna look at your website and everything. Based on the information that you're able to give me when I talk to you. I don't want your business card, so keep that in mind. I don't want it.
Okay, so how do they find you on social media, ma'am?
Everywhere. My personal handle is Official Maleeka. And the company, of course, as you see, is OMG, and you can find it at _OMG_LLC. On Instagram, and it's the Official Maleeka Group on Facebook, and on LinkedIn as well. So Official Maleeka, you'll find me and the company will pop up.
So y'all hear it first. You have someone here that is a boss at PR. Check her out, look her up, find her clients, ask them what's going on, and then work with her. Work with her. Yes. Okay, so she put the website in there as well. Check that website out as well. Do your stalking, do your research, and make sure that she's the right fit for you. There it is. There it is. She done told you what to do. Now go do it. Okay? That's right. She done told you what to do. See, because we are about this is going to be a teaching conference. We tell you what to do. But see, y'all gotta implement. Y'all have to implement. That's the thing. Yes.
Have to.
Okay, Miss Joy said Maleeka is the truth. Honey, look her up. It will bless your life. Yes. Yes, Joy. Yes, she will bless your life. I love
Thank you.
Yes. So, yes. And see, that's the thing. Maleeka has blessed my life in the short time we've known each other. It's a long time in social media time. And,
yeah.
And I hope to say that I've been a blessing here and there to her as well. And,
you have. Of course you have.
And then, of course, at the end of the day, you will not, there's going to be many collaborations in the future. But definitely go to the socialpowersummit.com. Get your room before August 23rd. Get your ticket, okay, before September 4th. And then be in the room, because that's where you're going to get the knowledge and the connections, because we're not putting it on social media. So we're ready to see you.
The Social Media Power Summit will not be on social media. Ain't that something?
Well, not the stream. Just pictures. Yeah, just pictures. And there's a reason, though. There's a reason.
I understand.
Because we have to get out there. We have to teach people to network. It's not all about the screen. At the end of the day, those true relationships are made offline. And that's real talk. But with that being said, thank you so much, Maleeka. You were so awesome.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yes. Thank you for giving me this time out of your lovely day and making this special little niche for me. and for the Social Power Summit attendees, and let them, giving us some nuggets that, that were true gems. A lot of people didn't know a lot of the things that you said about PR. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
I'm glad I could help.
All right. So until next time, we are 10 interviews down, 10 more to go. We'll be back in about 2 weeks. And until next time, bye.
Bye. Y'all have a good night.